right, welcome to Two Guys, One Take. My name is Noah, and that is Turner. And Turner, the Knicks, with Chalamet courtside in the Oakleys, they are back in it. I feel good about that for the Knicks. I don't know how you feel.
No, I think that was like I told you before, but the refs and the media just tried everything they could to make sure the Knicks didn't win that game, but they forgot that Big Purr was on that team. And Big Purr
Big
showed up
Purr.
in the fucking fourth, man, dropping 20 in the fourth, leading his team to a victory. And they still wanted him to lose, man. I don't know why they don't want to see a
Yeah.
good series. They're probably trying to punish New York for what they did to that one Pacers fan still. But man, I'm trying to see a good series. I really am. I'm
Yeah.
glad the T-Wolves won too because I can't see two blowouts, man. Especially with how this
No,
postseason's gone.
yeah, we need some good series here because, well, especially if this would have gone 3-0, that just would have been depressing
Totally.
because, then we're basically then we're just biding time until we get OKC and Indiana at that point. Not to
Yeah.
like write the Timberwolves off, but that it just becomes one of those things where everybody's just focusing on the next series and just trying to get through this one. I like to have a good competitive series, especially with the Knicks and Pacers having such a good rivalry.
Hmm.
Obviously, we hit on it a little bit with Big Purr having a huge fourth. I thought it was interesting that, you know, a lot of that fourth with Brunson getting his fifth foul, like he was off the floor for that big cat stretch and everything had to run through him. Which, typically when that happens, I'm thinking that's terrible news for the Knicks. Because, Cat is pretty feast or famine, but he was eating out there. And I thought OG was awesome today, like
Yes.
on defense and on offense. I know he only had 16 points on 9 shots, but he was 4 of 6 from three, and he had some awesome defensive possessions, especially at the end on Neesmith, just putting him in a torture chamber. Like
Mhm.
Neesmith was looking around like, somebody please come let me hit you with the outlet pass, and no, no chance.
Yeah. OG came up 3 blocks. He's been
Yep.
having such a solid fucking postseason. But all I want to say is Josh Hart is getting closer and closer into my categories of people that I kind of hate watching play. Um, that man has zero awareness on offense. Like he cannot do pretty much anything with the ball. He's just looking for Jalen Brunson or Cat at the top of the key. It's like, dude, do something for yourself because he's like pretty physical and usually has a smaller defender on him. Usually the like worst defender on the floor. So it's, man, you gotta do something. And the fact that he's pretty decent on defense. He's like a obviously a workhorse. He's gonna outwork everyone. But I don't know. His game is just so weird, and the fact that he averaged like 10 rebounds a game too is so weird to me. But
That's his biggest thing is rebounding. And you saw it at the end
so
of the
weird.
game. Like he had the two biggest rebounds of the game, being like
Yeah,
a mid-sized guy. He came up with two huge rebounds to close the game out, basically, where
yeah.
Siakam easily could have had either of those or whoever down low, Miles Turner. But yeah, on offense, he's a tough watch. It's a lot of crossover, 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 crossover. Oh, wait, crossover. So it's a rough watch. Siakam obviously wasn't as good in this game as he was in the game before, but and like he kind of was. He had some good blocks today and everything, but he just wasn't as efficient on offense. But I do think it's really entertaining that basically if Siakam gets the ball in the post, he's like, I'm gonna shoot a turnaround jumper, and the defender is like, you're gonna shoot a turnaround jumper, 2 points. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. Um, no, Siakam had a rough night, but he had that one big shot. Uh, I think it was an one too, but
Yeah.
um, it's just weird for me watching the Knicks just because Jalen Brunson, I I think it was Jeff Teague who had this take that I saw, but Jalen Brunson like takes so much out of the Knicks offense just because he literally stands at the top of the key like trying to back someone down or just like you said pounding the fucking air out of the ball, just crossover, crossover, going nowhere. And like by the time he starts getting to the hoop, it's like already there's only like 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and he's got to dish it to someone, and they're just taking a desperation three. So it's like time down the floor, or if Jalen Brunson's not on the court, like they have no idea what the fuck, like what to do with the ball, just because they haven't had any touches and they haven't got any shots up. So it's like it's tough watching the Knicks offense in that way. And Jalen Brunson also is getting closer and closer to my category of people that piss me off. But he is.
Oh yeah.
He's still a dog.
I do not enjoy. I shouldn't say that because I like when Brunson is playing well and it can be fun to watch. But there's times where it's really hard to watch, like when it's what you just said, where everything's through him, trying to get to the line, just clunky. I think it's hard to explain because it sounds like when you say this, like when you say what I'm about to say, it sounds like you're hating on him, but I'm not. I like Brunson. I think he's a good player. He's awesome to watch, especially at his size. But I think there's a world where with a different style of point guard, the Knicks are even better on offense, or it just unlocks something different because like I watched Mikal on the Suns and on the Nets like be an offensive creator, especially towards the end of his time in Phoenix, and he doesn't get to do any of that with the Knicks. And when he does, he hits those turnaround jumpers, he gets to his spots, and he's good. But he doesn't get to do any of that with the Knicks. OG is less of a creator, so I don't feel it with him. And Cat can be a creator. We saw that tonight, but it's definitely one or the other. It goes both ways. But I think if there was more of like an enabling, like a Chris Paul style of point guard, I think they would be even better. But it's hard because Brunson is still their best offensive player. He's still their best creator. So it's like if you take that off the team, shouldn't they be worse? But I just think there's a different way they could play offense, I guess. But they've gotten to this point largely through Brunson. They're going to live and die with that. I think it's just tough because sometimes when you're watching, like you said, it can be really methodical and kind of ugly in the same ways that I think like the Luka Mavs could be ugly, not last year's Mavs that made the finals. I thought that was a little better with Kyrie and some good ball movement, but like that team that made the West Finals and played the Warriors and beat the Suns, that was a version of the Luka team where it's like Luka and everybody else. This isn't that bad, but sometimes it looks like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only thing I have to say is the Knicks offense is very much everyone's kind of doing their own thing. It's like all ISO ball. It's like,
yeah,
it's your turn. It's your turn to create. It's your turn to do something, and then pass it to the next guy if it doesn't work out. The only one I really think is like spot up shooter, like really knows his role, is Josh Hart. And then everyone else is kind of like creating for themselves. I mean, Mitchell Robinson doesn't count, but like
I think
everyone
OG
else
plays his role pretty well. But other than that, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Mikal has to kind of figure it out on the fly. Cat still sometimes you're like, what's your role? And he's like, I don't know.
I mean, like even OG, other than like getting like late shot clock shots off at the three,
Yeah.
that's really all I can think of. But yeah, it's just a weird way that they run through their offense. I understand that that's you kind of want to go through your best players, but which brings me to my next point. Mikal Bridges has one of the nicest pull-up jumpers I've seen. Like,
Yes.
and it's copy and paste every single time, and like with a little
Hand
bit
in
of a
his face, doesn't
fadeaway,
matter.
it's so gross. It's so disgusting.
And every time he shoots it, you're like, that's going to be short. And then it's perfect.
Yeah.
Every time.
I don't know who it reminds me of. I think it's like a little
Kawhi.
Kawhi. Kawhi's more like straight up. Mikal has a little bit of a lean to it. I feel like it's a mix between Kawhi and like KD a little bit.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, exactly.
Because he's also like has the ball up super high. He doesn't really bring it down.
Yeah.
But
you're right. Just real quick, staying on the topic of them not moving the ball very well. Their assists per game as a team have gone down every game. I think that's a bad sign for them. Like I think this was a big win, but I think overall bad sign for them that they had 24 assists in the first game, 18 in the second game, and only 13 assists tonight.
Yeah, crazy. Insane.
Brunson only had one.
Stupid. Well, how
So
many
they're
minutes
clearly
did he
like
play?
he didn't play as many minutes as usual, but they're clearly saying like Brunson, you go ahead and score. We'd rather you score than start moving the ball and getting everybody else involved.
Yeah.
So, and
Which is the
Cat never
complete
moves the ball,
opposite.
but
Complete opposite of the Pacers, man. The
yeah,
Pacers,
they fly around.
dude, they're fun to watch. They have some crazy
Yeah.
good ball movement. They're always like rebound outlet, get up the floor, like try to beat everyone down, which I love. And it's cool, kind of cool that like if we were to see that matchup in the finals, but OKC and the Pacers, they play like very similar styles, just because
Yeah.
they're like heavy defense and then crazy on like fast breaks, and then they kind of just run through one guy if it gets to like if the ball slows down on their side of the court. Kind of a little bit less with the Pacers just because they can either run through Siakam, Halliburton, or even like fucking
Nemhard Neesmith,
Naismith.
like together. Yeah.
Yeah, together, exactly. But I honestly love watching the Pacers, and
Me too.
I want to see a good series, but I want to see the Pacers to win this series, and
Me too.
know that
Because
now.
I think Pacers Thunder, if the Thunder do advance, I think the Thunder are better, but the Pacers have the best chance, I think, to like if the Knicks made it and played the Thunder, I think they would get smoked. Like I
Yes.
think they would get absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
Whereas the Pacers, I think, would at least be a series because, like you said, and like when I say this, the Thunder are better. But I've been thinking this like for half the playoffs. What if the Pacers are the Thunder, but just in the East? Because they have the same setup. They're not as good on defense. They don't have the same like off the bench crazy fucking defenders that the Thunder do. But they run through Halliburton, who's not as good as SGA, but is still very good. Like Neesmith and Nemhard combined, I think is as good as J-Dub. Siakam and Chet, like Siakam at this point in his career is better than Chet. Chet could be better if he stays healthy in the future.
Yeah.
Miles Turner and Hartenstein, different players, but similar impact. I just think they have it, and then they each have a deep bench. Thunder are just like a better version of them. So I think that's the best matchup for like if you like love watching basketball, it's an awesome matchup.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing this stuff on Twitter of like that's basically a two teams that are built on Paul George going to the Clippers,
Crazy.
which is hilarious.
Insane. But I definitely agree with you, guy for guy. I would say Miles Turner adds a little bit more of a 3-point aspect than Hartenstein does. But I just think it's effort, dude. Like both of those teams, you can tell that they like really fucking care, and they're like
Yeah.
just operate as one unit. But like even coming off the bench, like the Pacers bench, it's not the same caliber as the Thunder bench, but you have Obi Toppin coming off the bench. He's crazy effort guy. Benny the Butcher, you know how much we love Benny the Butcher. Crazy effort guy. And even the last couple games, Ben Shepherd, I don't know why the fuck he hasn't been playing all playoffs, but he's been having a good couple of games. And then TJ McConnell tonight, dude. Fucking, he dropped 10 points in like the first, I don't even know, like 15 minutes. And we didn't have to see Thomas Bryant today, so that was awesome. But
No Thomas Bryant minutes today was crazy. They put in Toppin and Bradley.
yeah, I think you need to tweet about every time you see a Thomas Bryant. Which brings me to my next point, man. That's the next one. Mr.
Shamit.
Shamet
Coming off the bench is crazy.
Insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 1 for 2 with a 3, man. He played some good defense, I'm not going to lie. He added another aspect to the Knicks game that Jalen Brunson does not have.
Yeah. Shamit was plus 12 in his 11 minutes.
Love that. Love that for him.
So, former Sun, shout out to Shamit for that. There was this Suns playoff game where Shamit had like 5 threes against Denver and we won. And so he'll always have a place in my heart. Shout out to Shamit for that.
Yeah. Last thing on this game, I can't wait to see the edits that come out about Cat. Because Cat gave so much content tonight, which I love, dude. Every time they just pan over to him and he's like celebrating, like licking his lips. And his 3-point celebration's so hard to me. It's
He
gonna be
had
awesome.
he had a little like one of his passes. I forget when they were on that run with him in the fourth. He had a little no look, but he did look a little bit, like like that. He always is just so demonstrative with
Oh
his
yeah,
like. And I used to get annoyed with it, but now I just kind of love it, and I hope he does it forever. It's my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah. Okay, actually, one more thing on this game. The foul
Yeah,
calling was not equivalent to each team. The Pacers were getting crazy, like, ticky-tacky fouls, and I swear to God, the Knicks were getting hammered, and they were not getting any foul calls. So I don't know what was going on there. Um, I don't think Jalen Brunson should have been called for that charge. And then obviously there was
yeah,
that one. I think you brought it up earlier. It was it Halliburton's fadeaway or
yeah.
something like that. That was
Halliburton. No, Halliburton was just driving, and their offense was going nowhere, down four with
yeah.
like 12 seconds left, and then he went to go drive to the basket, and Mikhail just like got in a defensive stance, kind of went
Yeah,
for the ball a little bit, but like something we see like pretty normally on a play doesn't get
yeah,
called in the playoffs. They called it. I couldn't believe it. Even Van Gundy on the broadcast was like, "That hasn't
no,
been called all
yeah.
playoffs. Like
He
that's
said
terrible."
in the 2025 playoffs that gets called, which it pissed me
Yeah.
off too, dude, because I've been liking how these playoffs have been officiated.
Yes. I
Yeah,
like letting them play. When Van Gundy said that, you'll notice Reggie Miller, uh, not so closeted Pacers lover, went completely silent. Had
dude,
nothing to say back. Changed the subject.
I've been hating that fucking Reggie Miller, dude. They keep bringing up the choke celebration thing, and I'm like, they didn't even win that series. So why?
Yeah.
It is iconic, but like, it's really not if you think about it.
Reggie's awful on the broadcast anyway, but when it's a Pacers playoff series, he's like pretty insufferable. Um,
I'd rather hear Perk out there,
yeah.
dude. Give
I
Perk the
don't know.
mic, man.
I don't know, but sometimes I miss Mark Jackson. I know
Yeah,
that's an ESPN versus TNT thing, but sometimes I do miss Mark Jackson, especially just some of his goofy shit,
yeah,
you know. But
yeah.
that's I mean, that pretty much hits it all on this game. Looking forward to the next one.
On to the next one. Oh,
Mini
T-Wolves
OKC.
OKC. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I watched about maybe 3 minutes of this game,
That's okay because I'm a sicko and I watched pretty much from start to finish. I
which
missed
is
like the
wild.
opening tip and then I watched everything beyond that from start to finish. Couldn't stop. Um,
Do you
because
want to know what I
I was
watched actually though?
yes,
I
tell
watched
us
the Kansas City Current play. If you don't know who that
the
is, it's
current
a NWSL team. They were playing Racing Louisville and Temwa Chawinga.
Louisville
Temwa Chawinga.
and where is she from?
I have no clue, but that is my God. That is who I pray to every night. If you don't know who
She
Temwa
went off.
Chawinga is, that's who my um Twitter profile picture is. It's Temwa.
Oh,
And she's
tell me
like
what.
she's at some petting zoo in front of a goat and someone just took a picture of her. Yeah, she won the Golden Boot back-to-back years and she won the MVP last year. So it's a great watch. Great watch. Scored it on every single NWSL team except Kansas City Current. So little fun fact there about my God, Tim Westshot. But back to the game.
Well, I'm happy she got the shout out, but I do feel bad for you because you missed a Terrence Shannon Jr. masterclass off the bench for the Timberwolves. Chris Finch went to his bench. He knew that they had to switch some things up, so he went with Shannon at home, which I think was a good idea. I don't think he would have done this on the road. Shannon, the rookie out of Illinois, was much needed off the bench. He had 15 points, 5 of 8 shooting, so super efficient in his 13 minutes. He when he came off the bench, he was kind of the difference in the game. It wasn't like it was close, but he helped with the separation, and he got into it a little bit with Isaiah Joe,
Love
which I
that.
liked. Um, and what I like about Shannon is that when he gets the ball, it's like you when you're watching on TV, as soon as he gets the ball, you know nobody else is even sniffing the ball the rest of the possession. He is looking directly at the hoop and driving into it. Doesn't matter if 50 people are in front of him, he's just going to drive directly into them until he gets to the hoop. So I don't love that if you're playing like 45 minutes a game, but for 13 minutes, sure, dude, knock yourself out. I like it. Um, Edwards was awesome and he needed to be 30
Shout out, man.
points, super efficient, 9 boards, 6 assists. I thought he was good. And then sneaky, one of the most important things of the game is that Gobert was playable. He had been pretty unplayable for the first 2 games of the series, couldn't do shit on offense, looked confused, turned the ball over. I know he didn't have a crazy game stats wise, but the fact that he was able to play like almost 30 minutes and not look awful was huge for them because they need him out there defensively.
He finally got nerfed, man. They put up some true centers against him, and he was like, "Fuck, I can't drop 27."
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, OKC like is an awful matchup for him because if you aren't good at holding the basketball, they will just take it from you. And I'd say Rudy's worst skill is just like catching and then holding on to the basketball. So
Yeah.
they take advantage of that.
He's probably got some
Um,
pretty shitty people person skills too, from how much everyone wants to fuck him up, dude.
yeah, he has bad people skills and he's bad at catching the basketball.
The
But he's
one
really good at playing defense.
dude, the thing I hate from this, looking at the box score, we really couldn't get Joe Ingles a couple minutes, man.
Nope, couldn't throw Joey out there.
Why?
You know what's crazy is Finch probably went to Joe and was like, "You want to go in?" And he was like, "No."
What's that story that came about Joe Ingles that he has like? Actually, I don't know. Never mind.
His son?
Was it his son? Something about his son?
Yeah, he started a game this year because this is actually, I mean, I don't know if you did you read the story or no?
Uh-uh.
It's about his son. Oh, okay. His son has like pretty bad autism, like he can't be in like the stadium
Oh yeah,
usually.
because they did the like the rooms for him and all the
But they
stadiums and stuff.
created like a room in each stadium just in case you have a kid who has autism that needs to go like chill out because it's
Yeah,
really overwhelming.
it's like a
Um,
sensory room.
yeah, sensory room. And so Ingles started a game this year because it was the first time his son could actually come watch him play.
So sick.
Um,
Hell yeah.
so since his son probably wasn't at this game, Joe was like, "Dude,
Fuck
just
it.
sit me.
He didn't
I
want
don't
the
want to
petty
get out
minutes
there."
either, man. He didn't want the
No,
petty minutes.
but I love that Joe is on the bench like a coach because every time they cut to the Wolves bench, he's talking to somebody about something, and he
Yeah.
seems funny, man. Every time he's talking to somebody, they're laughing their ass off. So
I would love to see
shout
a
out
Joe
to Ingles.
Ingles and Anthony Edwards interaction, dude. That shit would be fucking hilarious.
I was watching them talk on the because they were talking about Ant's game, and he was talking to Ingles, and they were dying laughing. I'd love to know what they were talking about.
Yeah. It gives me PJ Tucker vibes because whenever they pan to the Knicks bench, PJ Tucker's always coaching.
He's a bulldog. But yeah, not much on this game other than finally you get back home. Timberwolves basically played a perfect game. Their bench played a perfect game. I don't necessarily know if you're relying on Terrence Shannon to come give you like a spark off the bench. I Something tells me OKC is going to win this next game in Minnesota by a lot. But, it feels like this was like Minnesota's like perfect game.
That gives me the people's parlay kind of vibes.
Yeah, people's parlay tomorrow might be like Shea over on points and OKC alt lines.
Chet Holmgren points, rebounds over.
Okay, hell yeah, I'm into that.
Dude, it's hit every fucking game this offseason. Or
He's
you can
back
do
home in Minnesota where he grew up eating oxtail and collard greens,
Who did you
as he
play
said.
with randomly? Was it Jalen
Suggs.
Suggs? Yeah.
They
I
played in
always
high
think of
school.
that.
Yep.
I always remember that for some fucking reason. And they
And then
both
they were
went
like,
to
let's go to
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga
Yeah, so weird. So weird.
so we can keep eating oxtail
My thing,
and collard greens.
who did Shannon play over mostly? Was it Mike Conley?
Shannon came in for McDaniels a few times, just to give him a rest. Conley still played 21 minutes. I don't think he necessarily played over anybody. I think they just took some of the
Minutes
like
away.
McDaniels minutes and some of the Conley minutes away. But he was out there with Conley a few times though too, because Conley was setting him up because he had the hot hands.
How many
Um,
times did they say Nikhil Alexander-Walker is cousins with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
they left that one alone this time, but they did
Nice.
mention, I don't know if you knew this, but Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford, they actually went to the same high school. Did you know that?
That's so random.
No, I'm just
Oh, I was about
that's
to
the
say. Oh,
that's
that's
the
the classic
classic.
one.
Like
Okay.
every single time that the like Stafford plays on Monday Night Football, they're like, by the
Oh
way,
yeah.
this fucking you want to see a picture, and they show you the same picture of them in like ninth grade like freshman team, and then
So
if Kershaw's
sick.
pitching on like Sunday Night Baseball, they're like, do you guys want to know a fun fact? This guy could
Dude.
maybe throw the football around a little bit too with Matthew Stafford. And you're like, would you guys shut the fuck up?
I
Um,
love when they do that, just random. Who was the one that was the weirdest shit ever? It was like, I want to say it was like Zion and someone, but maybe not.
I don't know.
I'm not too
I don't
sure.
know.
I don't want to be false.
I
But
don't know that one, but Alexander Walker. I was thinking this though, since they're cousins, they both have different last names, but they're both double,
yeah,
hyphenated names. Is that just a requirement in their family?
I don't understand like what, because obviously they're both from the Alexander tree,
Yes.
but why is his Alexander not, why
First.
is it not Walker Alexander? Why is it
Yeah. I
Alex?
it's Let's talk to
Maybe
Mr. Alexander. Where's Mr. Alexander in this
I was gonna say,
situation?
who the fuck is Alexander? He's been okay. If they're cousins, that means both of their dads. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Are
know.
from the Al
I don't want to. I don't want to say any
yeah.
allegations here. That's gonna be
Yeah,
a
I
tough
don't want
one.
to. This is all allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much all we have on that game. It was a blowout from the very beginning. I think it was like 24-9 at one point, and I was like, this might be just the Wolves game.
I also posted a reel about how OKC is fucking dominant right before that, and then they got boat raced. So that was
Yeah,
tough.
the two guys, one take, like what we say on the pod and like when we post things, the timing has been
Not
bad
good. Not good at
mostly.
all.
So
Not good
take
at
that
all.
how you will. Maybe just bet against us.
Yeah, not at all. Last basketball thing. Angel Reese is on pace to have the worst field goal percentage from a WNBA player ever. So keep your
I
eyes
saw
on that.
that quick like reel like but I saw it on Twitter of like her just like getting her own rebound, going up, missing, getting her own rebound, going up, missing. It's
Oh,
ugly to watch.
since you said something about it, it's gonna be on your feed of you know how ESPN has like the game cast? You can go on your phone and like
Yeah.
look at it and it shows you what's happening. It was like Angel
Yes.
Reese offensive rebound, Angel Reese missed 1 foot shot, Angel Reese offensive rebound. And it was like 16 just like things of her. It was awesome. Yeah, but not this last game, but the game before that, she was 0 for 8 with 2 points and 12 rebounds. And then today, I think she had like 14 points, 13 rebounds, and they
Yeah,
lost.
it's a rough watch.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
rough watch.
the biggest hater ever. I think I said last episode, the Fever lost a shitty one to the Liberty. That's a good game. That was a good game. I'm
Yeah.
on. I'm on WNBA this year. That's all I gotta say. They don't broadcast it, but it's a nice watch. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot better than it used to be.
No, it's a good watch. There's definitely more skill in the league.
Yeah.
So
The Seattle Storm coming up too. That's it. They're a good
they
team.
won by like 20 today.
They're a good team. I'm telling you. And the Aces
Yeah.
aren't as good this year. I don't think Liberty's gonna be as good this year. So I think the table is wide open. But that's all I gotta say about that. On to baseball, man. Did you watch
Yeah.
any baseball today?
I watched a fucking awesome Skubal start this morning.
Yeah.
And before the Yankees game, he went complete game, his first complete game. It was one of the best games, like pitched games I've ever seen. And I mean that when comparing it to like no hitters, like a perfect game, that's different. But like some of the no hitters that we see, they're not all built the same. Sometimes there's a bunch of walks, there's people on base from errors. this schoolball performance, like Cleveland was helpless. 13 Ks, 94 pitches, only 2 hits. They just
No
looked
walks.
no walks. He was awesome, and his last pitch of the game was almost 103 miles an hour, strike three. Um,
Easy.
he was awesome today, so
Dude,
thoroughly enjoyed that this morning.
the Tigers are awesome. I just want to say that. The Tigers
The
are
Tigers
also
are
a
awesome.
good watch. And they're doing it with the weirdest fucking team ever.
Yeah,
Um,
Javi
like
having a
Glaber,
renaissance year.
yes, Glaber Torres weirdly like whenever he plays good. Spencer Torkelson's doing his thing. Zach McKinstry too. And then I just want to shout out, man, fucking Dylan Dingler. What a name. But Dylan Dingler is a dog. I'm pretty sure he's a rookie this year. Going
Catcher.
crazy. Catcher, yes. He's been doing his thing. Uh,
Yeah,
I also saw something that Schoolball doesn't like throwing to him for some reason. And this was the first game that he's thrown to him. And they were
yeah.
electric.
Dingler killed the Yankees earlier this year in like our second
Mhm.
series of the year. It was like freezing in Detroit, and Dingler was like awesome, and his name stood out to me for obvious reasons. So
Yeah.
shout out to him.
Good
Shout out
baseball
Riley
name, too.
Green. He's also awesome. Yeah, Dingler's crazy. Riley Green has been awesome, but also shout out Torkelson. He's an ASU guy, and I thought he was gonna sadly be like this big bust. His after his first 2 seasons not going very well, he was pretty much an afterthought coming into this year, and then he just kind of got thrust back into the starting first base spot. Um, and
Yeah.
he's been too good to sit. Basically, you have to give him at bats. So, shout out to Torque the Dork. He's been pretty good, and just shout
I'm
out to the
working out for him.
Tigers. They've been very, very good all season.
Very,
So
very good today. Did you watch any other games today?
Yankees, obviously watched the Yankees game. They took 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. Somehow lost game 1 to the terrible Rockies, but then killed them in game 2, and then close game today. Uh,
Saw
this was
that.
probably the shakiest like Luke Weaver close that I've seen. He gave up a home run and a couple hits, and it was looking kind of dicey for a second, but he's nailed, so he nailed it down. Devin Williams struck out the side, but also walked a guy and gave up a hit, so classic Devin Williams outing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really big long rain delay in the middle, so just strange game overall,
Yeah.
but I'll take the win and get out of Colorado, head to Anaheim for continuing our big ass like road trip. Um, and then before the before the basketball game, I watched a little bit of the Mets and Dodgers, but not a lot.
Nice. Well,
You
the
watched
games I
any games
watched
today?
today. The games I watched today, obviously I watched the Pirates. I really didn't want to. Um, when I first saw the score, I think it was 3-0. And then we had I forgot what inning it was. Big sixth inning. Sixth and seventh inning. But yeah, Tommy Pham, weirdest. Every time I watch him play, he randomly does good. So I think I just need to have eyes on Tommy Pham at all times. But when I don't watch and I check the box score, he's 0 for probably 5 million. But yeah, the team, honestly, I think they should have swept. They kind of choked this game late. I think it was the ninth inning. We had 2 runners on, 1 out. O'Neal Cruz was up, and yeah, Tommy Pham got picked off at second base. Shout out Tommy Pham. Pitching is looking good, especially in this series. The Pirates pitching, I don't even care what anyone says. It's low-key one of the best staffs in baseball. We just don't have any run support whatsoever. But yeah, and then shout out O'Neal Cruz. 122.9 off the bat. He's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
He is absolutely going to kill someone.
If 122.9 got hit at me at first base or wherever he pulled that ball, like I know it was a homer, but if it was like a line drive, I'm shitting my pants.
Yeah. Shitting. It was, I think it was it got out of the park the fastest I've ever seen a ball. Like, it was on a line. It probably put a
Yeah.
hole through the fucking bleacher, dude. Like, that shit was absolutely on a frozen rope. But no, if I saw that coming at me, fuck no. Fuck
Yeah.
no. He deserves
I don't
a
even know
hit.
if a glove can catch that.
I don't even know how a bat hits that. How does it just not, like, implode? Or just,
Yeah.
like, cease to exist? But all I gotta say about the Pirates, man, they're impressing me. We're turning things around, I think. We're almost at 20 wins. Road to 20. I think we're still I think we're still like 13 games behind the Cubs, but we're looking for a wild card spot, man. That's all we gotta look forward to right now. Isaiah Connor-Falefa, dog.
Yankees legend, Connor
Yankee-
Falefa.
Dude, he's our only hitter I mean, I don't think he's hitting 300 now, but he was close to hitting 300, so
He was a beloved Yankee.
he's a solid bat, solid shortstop too. So
Yeah, he can play any position.
yeah. And then the other game I watched, Red Sox, they choked, especially with Bueller on the mound. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going
Well,
on there.
they're bad, so
They are bad. Shout out Kale. And honestly, their new guy, he went 2 for 4 today, but I don't know how you can say this when someone's going 2 for 4, but I was not really impressed with him.
hot take.
Hot take. Because one of them was
Hot
also an
take.
infield hit.
Oh, yeah.
Devers.
Fake hit.
Devers is playing good. Crazy that they had to call up a dude and without even asking Devers to play third. They're like, hey, Bregman's out, man. Can you do us a solid, please, and play third? He said, we already went down this road, man.
They didn't even ask him this time. They were like, do we ask him again? They're like, no, we saw what happened last time. We asked him to do something. He can't. Which, I can't give him too hard of a time because he had like 8 RBIs the other day. Like, he's been hitting the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, keep him at DH. I get it. Don't mess with a good thing. He's been killing the ball, but they just have been 1 win, 1 loss, 2 wins, 2 losses. They can't like escape the 500 purgatory.
Yeah. It's also like Jarren Duran gets up. He fucking obviously gets on because it's Jarren Duran. And then it's Devers. Devers does what he can. And then after that, it's like a wash. You might as well like...
Yeah.
If the 8 or 9 hitter doesn't get on for Duran and Devers, it's wraps.
Story is awful.
Story is awful.
Trevor Story has been awful.
What is his contract at? I actually don't even know.
It was a huge deal when he signed it. I don't know where it's at in the process, but he's terrible, man.
He hasn't done shit. Like, he's been hurt mostly, hasn't he?
Yeah. 6-year, 140 is what he signed for. It goes through... Where'd it go? Yeah, he's on... takes him through 2029.
Crazy.
He'll be 36. But there's an opt-out next year. Pretty sure he's going to pick that up. Stay with the team.
So. Yeah. Getting back to the Rockies, man.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Red Sox are terrible. So, there's not a ton to watch currently. And if they pick it up and they start to scare me, I'll change my tune. But they're no good. I do want to shout out Walker Buehler, not for this start, but last start, for putting that umpire in his place. That was electric. That was my favorite thing I've seen like all season in baseball. Because that pitch was right down the fucking middle. It was directly down the middle. And so I'm happy that he told him that and said, fuck you. Because sometimes an ump needs to hear that. There's certain umps that need to hear that. So
I agree. And it didn't help that Francisco Lindor was like telling him to throw out of the game. I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, why even say anything? Why are you that
classic
invested?
Mets shit.
Yeah. Are you like that scared to face him again? Weird.
Classic Mets shit.
And I'm usually not a Lindor
corny.
hater. Yeah, I'm usually not a Lindor hater, but that was stupid. That was fucking dumb. But my other thing, I like watching the Orioles, dude. I don't understand how they're so fucking bad. Like,
It's confusing.
it is very confusing. Jackson Holiday is going to be a good hitter. He obviously still has a lot of ABs to go through until he's at that level.
His swing is so pure, though.
It's so nice, dude.
Like his approach from the left side, it's awesome.
Dude, you talk about swings on that team. Gunnar has a great swing. Adley has a great swing. And then my boy Cedric Mullins also has a fucking great swing. And I don't understand how they can't pull it together.
They have a kid, Heston Kerstad, I don't know how to say his last name, but he plays outfield for them. That also has like an awesome. He's a super good athlete, really good swing. So I know they were my biggest worry, other than the Red Sox in the East this year, was them because they've been good the last like 2 seasons, and they have all this young talent that's hitting their primes.
Mm-hmm.
Adley Rutschman has just been not like he looks good, but he hasn't been producing. Gunner, same thing. Like they just haven't played well. They haven't pitched well. And like you said, Cedric, he's awesome, but he's kind of in a weird spot because he knows this is probably his last year. They have guys coming up that are going to be cheaper. So the vibe is weird with him. Weird team, but I agree with you. When I watch them, I'm like, this team should be competing with the Yankees for the East, but they're not.
There's no way the Rays should be this in second in that division.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy as fuck. But yeah, those were the only 2 games I really watched today. We can take a quick look at the standings and see what we think.
Well, I have a quick American League and National League like MVP.
Oh yeah.
Like looking at the odds. I know it's early. It's like early for this. I guess I'm just a little confused by both leagues, like the way the odds look. So in the American League, obviously Judge is like a huge favorite, which makes sense to me. I watch him every day. He's awesome. He was hitting 400 up until this series still. But like Cal Raleigh being third on the ones that I'm looking at, I don't know how, like I'm trying to make sure they're updated, but that seems crazy to me.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at, it's got Judge in first, obviously, Bobby Witt, and then J Ram.
Which okay. And then I've got the one I'm looking at is Judge, Witt, Raleigh, and J Ram and Raleigh are like the same.
Yeah.
Witt I know has been awesome, but Raleigh is a switch hitting catcher that's carrying the Mariners. He is up there with Judge for home runs. I think he's 1 behind him.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on base. He's literally the only, other than like Randy, sometimes he's the only guy consistently doing anything for the Mariners. So
Polanco too.
Polanco. But Raleigh to me is getting hosed a little bit in the standings for MVP. And then in the National League, why is Shohei just like the consensus? Like
Just the default.
Just the default. I feel like Tatis or Pete Crow Armstrong have been more of an MVP than Shohei this year, and that's not just me hating on the Dodgers. Like, if Shohei was having like a Shohei year overall, obviously he'd be the MVP. But I think Tatis and the way that team's played, I know they've been a little cold lately, along with Pete Crow Armstrong, how awesome he's been and how good the Cubs have been. Those two should be battling it out for MVP rather than Shohei. Especially Tatis. I feel like maybe the league's a little reluctant to really push for Tatis because they were trying to make him the face and then he had the PED thing, but I just think he's been so good. So the odds are just a little weird to me.
Except when Luis Arias isn't playing, Tatis does not show up. Something about those two playing together. They have to play together. The one thing I do want to defend Corbin Carroll a little bit because he has... I don't know what he did. He started hitting home runs, though. I think I saw something on X about how he was talking about how he changed up his swing a little bit. He's keeping it a little bit more short, and his hands are a little bit lower, but he's been hitting bombs. I think he's like 3rd in the NL right now in home runs. But yeah, I see it. My list is Shohei, Tatis, Carroll, Freddie Freeman, and then PCA.
Oh yeah, Freeman has been playing really well too.
Yeah. obviously I'm a PCA guy through and through. That dude is fucking electric, and he's not carrying the Cubs, but he has huge.
He's just such a good athlete. He plays awesome center field. He's always on base. He has like more pop than you think in his bat too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to comment on the MVP because like I just think that the odds were just a little out of whack. Like looking at it.
Well, now that you say that,
And
kind of look
then
at the Cy Young odds.
yeah, I was gonna move to Cy Young too. Like AL Cy Young is gonna be a fucking dogfight because Scooball's been awesome. Max Fried has been nails for the Yankees,
Dude,
and
all of these.
Garrett
Crochet.
Crochet has been nails for the Red Sox. He's the only reason, like he's the best starting pitcher they've had all year,
Yeah.
and it seems like every time he starts they win. And then sneaky, Eovaldi and DeGrom. I know the Rangers stink, but both of them have been lights out too.
Did you say Hunter Brown too?
Oh, and Hunter Brown too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hunter Brown, dude. He's a dog.
I think Hunter Brown before the Scooball start had the best odds for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I
But
saw
then
that before.
Scooball had the awesome start today.
Did you say Eovaldi too? Because I love watching Nathan Eovaldi hit.
Eovaldi and DeGrom.
Or not hit,
the pitch. The Rangers have been terrible, but DeGrom and Eovaldi have both been nails.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's the only reason that the Rangers are still in contention.
That they even have anything.
Yeah. The AL West is so weird right now. What is the NL?
Skenes.
Oh. If we can get that man some wins, it should be locked. It should be locked.
Yeah, the NL is much more like a little bit strange. Like I have a Hunter Green bet that looked awesome until he got hurt, and then now he just obviously hasn't been pitching. He just finally came back, but he only pitched 4 innings.
Yeah.
Wheeler is like always super consistent. Yamamoto, you got to have a Dodger in there. He's probably going to have like 1 million wins, and he's a good pitcher. So there's that. Logan Webb, sneaky, has been like one of the best pitchers in the NL other than Skenes, though. I feel like every time he starts, it's lights out.
Yeah. Same with Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's, yeah. You know what you're going to get from him every time that he's on the bump.
Yeah. This is like a super deep cut, but Nick Pivetta has been fucking awesome for the Padres. I know he's not like high up in the odds, but every time he starts, they win, and he goes like 6 innings and gives up like 1 or 2 runs.
Dude, same with Michael King, too. Yankees legend.
King as well, yeah. Yankees legend Michael King.
Yeah, but crazy looking at the odds. I kind of want to go back to the AL West because it seems like that division is the only, I mean, not the only one, but it's the biggest one that's up for grabs. Like, I think it was last week looking at it, the Athletics were in second place, and then they just dropped 11 of the 10, 11 of their last 10, or 11 of the last 12, fuck. Because, I mean, they honestly should have lost today, but they didn't. But that division's going to be a dogfight, and if I were a Mariners fan, I would be a little bit scared, considering what happened to them last year. But I really hope the M's stick that one out. As long as everyone stays healthy and their staff keeps doing what they are doing, I think they can pull it out. I don't know how they're going to match up against like a Yankees or a Tigers in the postseason. But I just want to shout out fucking Jacob Wilson, dude. I don't know if you've watched an A's game this year, but Jacob Wilson is an absolute dog, man. Right now, he's hitting fucking 350 right now with 6 bombs. But like watching that dude play, he is like first pitch swinging kind of a guy. Doesn't really see a whole lot of pitches. Doesn't really walk a lot.
He doesn't walk ever,
which is completely against the Billy Bean philosophy. Moneyball, best baseball movie ever. But yeah, shout out Jacob Wilson. A's are in a tough spot. They went to GCU. That's sick. I did not know that. But shout out GCU. But I kind of hope the A's. Yeah, I kind of hope the A's bring it around and they get to that wild card spot because I think the A's are
Me
fun,
too.
and I think the A's that franchise deserves it. It's also really weird seeing like the history of the A's and like
Yeah.
their like people's playing career and going down, and it always said Oakland like OAK, and now it says
Yeah.
ATH. I'm like that's kind of
Yeah.
sad for Oakland, but
It makes me sad for Oakland, but I watch a lot of A's because I like to watch my king, Lawrence Butler, play right field.
my king.
Um, my king, that's my guy. I love that guy. God, if the Yankees could just get that guy. Oh my God. No, but I love watching him. So I sneaky I root for the A's to do well. Just because I think that they're
You
first of all, I
can
think their uniforms are iconic.
yes.
Like I love a good just like A's game because their uniforms look sick, but I also just think it's good for the game when they're good. So
This.
I'd like to see them get back in it. Low key, hot take, and when I say this, they'll probably go on like a 10-game losing streak. But have been thinking this the whole time, and they just went on a big like 8-2 in their last 10. The Angels might be the biggest threat to the Mariners in the West. I know it's weird. They spend money just on the wrong people. This year, some of those people are playing well. Like Kenley Jansen closes games for them. He still can close games.
And he
Tim
can
Anderson
hit.
hasn't, and he can hit. And he can catch. Tim Anderson hasn't been, obviously like what he was supposed to be, but he's been pretty solid. Like platooning and playing a little bit with them, and then Zach Neto has been
Hmm.
awesome at short. I just kind of like that. Sometimes you're like, whatever happened to that guy? And then you're like, oh, he's on the Angels. I feel like that's always what happens. Some of those, what happened to that guys have been playing pretty well for them. So I like
Yeah.
to see that. And I like to see the Angels play well. So I think they'll be the biggest competition for the M's
Yeah.
in that division.
I think Zach Neto is on like a weird list of I want to say I don't know how many home runs and stolen bases, but he's on a very like small list of
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fuck, I don't want to be wrong, but um
He's got pop in his bat and he plays good short and he steals bases. Yeah. It makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and is Anthony Rendon still on that team?
Technically, he is still on the team. He doesn't exactly play a lot of baseball.
I wouldn't want to play
Um,
either.
yeah, he doesn't like to play. He's been very open about that. Um, I think right now he's hurt again. I think he got hurt preseason in the spring. Let's see, injury. Yeah,
While
Anthony
you're looking that
Rendon.
up, Taylor Ward is also a dog. Kyle Hendricks has been pitching for the A's too. I watched him pitch a couple games. Logan O'Hoppe, weird one,
Yep.
but yeah.
Rendon had a hip surgery
Oh, fire!
in February, so
What the
it's going to be a
fuck?
while before he's back. He's been, honestly, good for him. He kind of asked for that. He's been pretty open about the fact that he doesn't want to play. This is just his job. I think it was this 2024 spring where the like reporter for the Angels was like, "You excited to be back at spring training? Back to being healthy?" And Rendon was like, "Well, I don't know. Do you like going to your job? This is my job. So do you like
Like
going to your
showing up?
job?"
Yeah,
And the
probably
guy was
not.
like, the guy was like, "Well, no, but I don't play baseball." Like, like, what do you
Also,
mean?
I don't get paid millions of dollars. I mean,
Yeah,
crazy
don't get
contract
paid
though.
millions. Don't get paid millions to play a kid's game.
Yeah.
But thanks for checking in on me. Yeah, no, his contract is bad with the Angels.
Win a World Series and then just get a bag and then never play again.
Ever.
I think Juan Soto should do the same thing
I think he's well on his way.
after
Um,
this year, probably.
real quick, to wrap up baseball, shout out to my guy. We shouted him out on Friday, Acuña, coming back after like a year and a half almost of not seeing any pitches. First pitch he sees, bomb,
Mhm.
467 feet. And then he hit the John Morant celly, which was hilarious. And then next game, bomb. So shout out to Acuña. I know that they dropped 2 of 3, and they're still kind of sitting around 500, the Braves. I don't know if they're ever going to pick it up, but I think he gives them some life, and I like watching him play, so I'm happy he's back.
Yeah. I'm glad you talked about the Braves because earlier in the year, obviously they were losing a lot of games. And I think the Acuña coming back just gives them a little bit more life. And I think they are going to turn it around a little bit. I know you said they dropped 2 or 3, but
Yeah.
I think they're definitely
Good Padres team, though.
Yeah. I think they're going to turn it around. I don't know how you don't with the kind of hitters that they have.
Yeah.
And especially being the degenerate I am, it was pretty easy to bet against the Braves, and now like their odds look a lot better. So
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas is never wrong, man. Vegas knows that they're about to go on a tear.
I've lost a ton of money. I've lost a ton of money betting on them to turn it around, and I bet on them all 3 games this series, so I will continue to bet on them.
Also, I want to say,
they're good.
Just because of the betting thing, your Yankees fucked me today. I had the -1.5.
Yeah. Yeah. I never do spreads in baseball. Just a thing. I'll always, even if the money line is like -164, I don't give a shit that's chalky. I will bet more money on a team to just win the game than to cover the spread, because I used to be a spread guy, and one time 2 years ago, I still remember this. 3 years ago, I bet White Sox spread when they were good against the A's, or they were just okay at least. They were up 3-1. The center fielder dropped the ball with 2 outs in the ninth and a runner on second base. And then the next pitch, they got a ground out, and I lost the fucking bet. And I watched that entire game. So that's when I vowed to myself I wouldn't bet any more spreads. I'll just bet a little bit more on the money line.
What a crazy sentence in 2025. Betting the spread on a White Sox A's game. Insane.
Hey, man. Hey, sometimes middle of the summer, Arizona, what am I going to do?
You get desperate. What, am I going to watch a game without betting on it? No.
What, am I going to just sit here and watch the White Sox and A's and enjoy a nice baseball game? No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but we didn't really talk NL standings, but all I got to say about the NL standings is the NL West is pretty much the same as the AL West. It's pretty tight, other than the poor Rockies, the Yankee killers.
Yeah, they got their win. They got their win.
That was probably, they could have celebrated like they won the World Series then.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for the Giants. I'm excited, dude. I think I texted you this, but after just looking at the standings, I'm fucking so excited for the MLB playoffs. MLB playoffs are just great baseball.
Some of the best TV is for like live sports is MLB playoffs for sure. I'm excited for that. I'm begging the Mariners to stay in it so that I want a Yankees-Mariners playoff series. I need the Yankees to play playoff baseball in Seattle. I will be at both games if that's the case. Because
you could be like that Pacers guy that all the Mariners fans like throwing trash at you and shit.
You know what's crazy is Mariners fans do hate everybody kind of hates the Yankees, but Mariners fans really do hate the Yankees. And I remembered why last time I was in town. It's because Ken Griffey Jr. has that quote where he's like, if every other team got destroyed except for the Yankees, I would retire. He's basically like, I would never play for them. And so, they had a little bit of a rivalry back in the 2000s because the Mariners used to be good. So, like when they used to be really good with Griffey. So I would love that. That's what I'm begging for. But I'm looking forward to down the stretch. Like you said, the NL West, like the Dodgers are an awesome team, but so are the Giants, so are the Padres. Diamondbacks, I know, are like struggling to get out of like the 500 space, but their offense is so good.
It's just their pitching.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if we talked about their series with the Rockies, dude. That game was a fucking implosion.
Just all scoring, no pitching.
What was it? It was like 14-12.
Yeah.
Dude.
There's like multiple grand slams.
Also, I think that game like blew up my phone because I I was watching that game. I was at the gym lifting, watching that game, and like I turned back, all the
No big
music,
deal.
the like fucking the sound cut out, and I was like, what the fuck? So I go back to my phone, and it's just white. Like the whole screen is white. I can't like fuck with anything. I can't like turn it off or turn it back on. It was just white, and I was like, that game really just blew up my phone. But
Stop working out. You have to watch Rockies Diamondbacks now.
yeah, and then just
Um,
had to get a new had to go fix my fucking phone. Thank you, Diamondback Rockies.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
stupid Diamondbacks.
Yeah, but that's
But yeah, no, I'm just excited
baseball.
for down the stretch and for the playoffs for sure.
Yes. We also have some big news. I will be in Seattle on July 5th, and
Yes.
we will be doing the first in-person pod. I think we could probably get a little bit of vlogging in too if because
Yeah.
we're watching the Mariners play the Pirates.
Yes.
Paul
We will
Skenes
get a
better be
little vlog
pitching.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
I
sick.
think we could get a vlog in. We could see how it goes, and then maybe if the Mariners do play against the Yankees in the playoffs, I could vlog my experience with the Mariners fans
I
in
think you
Yankees
should.
gear.
I think you should.
Because sometimes they're mean. You know, people are like, "Oh, Seattle, people are kind of quiet and whatever." No, these people are mean. Some of them.
They
So
are.
you know,
Seattle's a
yeah,
scary
in-person
place, man.
pod, very
In-person
scary.
pod,
I'm scared.
co-host Chuck Barkley gonna be there.
Yeah, Charles Barkley will be there. He won't have much to say, but he does watch all the games with me, so
As he
um,
should. He's just a ball
as he
knowing.
should. Yeah, he knows ball.
Oh
But yeah,
shit.
in-person pod.
Shit. I have to say my one last thing. It's kind of baseball, but not baseball. Um,
That's okay.
yeah, so for anyone out there, I rent cars to people. I'm not going to say the company I work for because I wouldn't want to give them that advertisement. You do see it all the time on baseball. Uh, but there's this kid, I think we've talked about him before. He goes to Summit High School here where I live. He's a number 10th ranked prospect in the MLB right now. So he's definitely going to go pretty high. And me working at an airport, a lot of scouts come through. And I just want to say, Padre scouts, you can suck my dick. You all are the worst people ever. Tampa Bay Rays scouts, you also are the worst people ever. What's the
Wow.
other? The Giants scouts are also terrible people. But there was some highlights, and I just want to say the Yankee scouts. I don't know why they're there scouting this kid, but they are. Yankee scouts, great people, very
Let's
personable.
go.
I couldn't even tell he was a scout, dude. He looked kind of like a homeless person. I'm not gonna lie,
That's because he's knee deep in his numbers.
dude. Like
Doesn't matter what he looks like.
there's a group of people that don't wear socks on a plane. I'm one of them, and this guy did not have socks on the plane. He was wearing his slides. And then I pull up his information, it's Yankee Scout, and I'm like, nice to meet you.
Checks out.
But yeah, Yankees are good people. Diamondbacks, great people. And Pirates.
Hell yeah.
Even better, she was a woman. Woman Scout. Great
Female
person.
woman.
Yes.
Wow.
In the flesh. Great person. I told her I was a Pirates fan. She was like, anytime you're in Pittsburgh, let me know. Gave me her card. Great person.
Let's
I just had to
go.
shout that out. But
Let's go.
Padres,
Wait, what makes the Padres, Giants, and who else did you say?
it was Padres, Giants. Fuck, I forgot who the other one was.
What makes them bad?
Oh, dude, they're
What
just
made
rude. Like they like know what they want and know what they deserve. And I tried to tell them, I was like, pretty like tough games or something like that. And I was like, oh, my good friend's like a Yankees fan. Like I can't wait to tell him about this. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, dude,
yeah.
Judge is going crazy again. And they're like, yeah, he's Aaron Judge. I don't know. But like I'm talking to all the other ones about their team and like they're telling me
Yeah.
all these prospects they're looking at and who they think they're gonna draft and like what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, a Ranger scout too. He told me that they pretty much lied about what Al Leiter Jr.'s injury was. They
Oh,
said
Jack Leiter.
or Jack Leiter, sorry. They said something about on the injury report said something about his leg, but he actually had a fat cut on his finger I think it was from drinking, which is crazy. Um,
Wow.
I never brought that up though, but that's why he didn't get a couple starts earlier this season.
Jackie
Uh,
Lights was throwing down the Miller Lights. That's crazy.
and I'm like, why did you tell me that, dude? That's so fucking
Yeah,
funny. Little does he know I
you're
have a
like,
podcast with 38 subscribers.
you should have been like, dude, do you listen to Two Guys One Take?
So,
You better start listening.
he's like, I'm about to exploit this information so fucking hard.
That's so funny. Some people are just rude, you know. Some people are just rude. When I
Yeah,
was living in Arizona, I got to help Randy Johnson,
sick.
pitcher. Yeah, you would think it was sick until you talk to him. At an Apple store that I worked at, and he literally everybody at the store that I worked at was like, somebody's got to help him. But like he lived in the area, so like everybody already kind of knew him, and everybody was like, dude, you don't want to help him. He's like the worst to deal with, like total asshole. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went to go help him. This dude didn't listen to a word I said. I was just trying to help him with his phone. Wouldn't even look at me, make eye contact with me, like anything. I didn't even end up saying anything to him about baseball because he just seemed so annoyed, like just to even like be at the store. And he ended up leaving mad because he thought I couldn't fix his phone, but he just wasn't listening to me. So
The
some
big
people are just
unit.
rude, man. They just don't want to. They just don't want to talk.
That's it. That's the thing. Like you're living life. Why are you mean to a customer service representative? Like in your
I
case,
was
man,
19.
you're just trying to fix his phone, man. The big unit just
Yeah,
walked up to you. What the
I
like?
know. I
You
was
didn't even say
19. I was
anything
about
too.
to hit
You weren't
him.
even rude. What the fuck?
No,
But yeah,
no, I didn't want him to be freaked out because everybody already said he was a dick. So I was like, all right, I won't bring up anything. I'll pretend like I don't even care.
uh,
And he just was not cool. I should have just been like, dude, remember when you hit that bird? That was awesome, dude.
yeah.
Remember when you hit that bird with that fastball? Hell yeah.
You're the guy that hit the bird, right?
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's you, right? What do they call you? The big kahuna? Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, also shout out Billy Bean. I didn't know he lives in Bend, but he came and
Shout out
rented a
Bend,
car
Oregon.
from us too.
Shout out Bend, Oregon.
No,
Um,
shout out fucking Bend, Oregon, man. But that's baseball, and I know you want to talk puck, so get to it, man.
yeah, you guys know I finished with some quick puck, very quick puck. Edmonton drubbing of Dallas today, 6-1. I've been riding Edmonton betting wise at home. I know today they were like a pretty big favorite. I still bet them just more, a little bit more money on them because they've just been awesome at home. Um, I don't think this series is over by any means. They're up 2-1. They've kind of killed Dallas the last couple games, and Skinner's looked a lot better in net, and Ottinger looks a little frazzled, even though he's one of the better goaltenders. So I'm hoping for a bounce back game from them so that we can get at least one good series because my Canes
Yeah, I was about to
have
say,
been
man.
getting fucking killed, and they look like their brain is in a pretzel.
Yeah,
They look like they can't believe what hit them. This Florida team just like puts you in that position. Basically, like the way I have been like watching is Florida is nasty, and they kind of put you in a bind because they want you to get out of your flow of your game, and they want you to get mad at them for like being. They're not dirty. They're just kind of nasty. Like we've all like seen a team like that or played a team like that, in sports at any level that just tries to get under your skin, but they push it to a level where they're not really being dirty, but they kind of are. They get Carolina out of their game immediately, like right away. And Carolina plays a really strict style of like man to man. And like they play a very strict style and they stick to it. Florida gets them out of it right away. They just frazzle them immediately and they can't come back from it. It's almost like just as soon as they lost that first game at home, it was like, well, series is over, basically, is what it felt like. So I feel bad for my guy Rod Brindamore, coach of the Canes, Rod the Bod. He's probably pissed again. This is the last game was their 15th straight Eastern Conference Finals loss.
damn,
They've been to the conference finals, I want to say it's 3 years in a row now, and they have lost every fucking game.
that's crazy.
Um,
That's a
and last
wild
year was to
stat.
the Panthers too. Last year was to the Panthers. Shout out to Rob Brindamore for last year. They lost a bunch of one goal games in the conference finals, and then a reporter was like, "You got swept," and he was like, "No, we didn't get swept. We lost in overtime a couple times. One goal games. We did not get swept." And I don't know what he's going to say this time because they've been losing by like 4 or 5 each time. So I don't know if he's going to tell another guy, like, hey, we did not get swept. We got fucking killed. Okay.
Can't be worse than the Leafs talking about their series.
Honestly, what's crazy is that the Leafs were the only team to even put any pressure on Florida and push them to 7 games. And I actually think it's because I think a lot of people make fun of the Leafs for not being nasty enough. But I think one of the problems that teams run into is when Florida gets nasty, they're like, oh, we're going to match them. We're going to try and match them. The Leafs were like, we're not going to try and match them. That's not our style. That's how they were able to get it to 7 games at least. So, you know, not a ton else on puck. I mean, McDavid was awesome today. Feel bad for my Canes, but honestly, they've been showing zero heart and they just seem out of it. So can't even really feel that bad. It seems like we're on course for a rematch of last year. And Florida, it's hard to bet against them. They just play a style they're really good together and they have a really good culture. So,
Nice.
so yeah, so shout out to the Panthers and my bracket's fucked, but it's fine. And shout out McDavid and the Oilers.
Shout out Puck. Shout out Puck.
Shout out Puck, man. It's fun to watch.
Kind of wraps it up, man. But I just want to give a shout out to Emily Fox. She plays for Arsenal. They just won Champions Cup. She has never lost a final in her whole career. I think she's 8 and
Wow.
So shout out Emily
Wow.
Fox.
Definitely shout out.
She's on the U.S. Women's national team. So that's my only shout out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When basketball's over, we have a little bit less sports to talk about. I have a lot of reality TV takes that I need to get off my chest. So
All
just
right.
want to tease the people with that. So get ready for this summer.
I'm gonna stay on the women's sports grind because
I've been watching a ton of reality TV. So
I love that.
that's my version of women's sports.
Like what? I saw your wife's her Instagram posts have been killing me at her job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It happens.
those are good.
I got my teeth cleaned. That was good.
Shout out her.
But shout out to Kieran for that. Shout out my wife. But also shout out to my wife for putting me onto all of the good reality shows. I used to hate on reality TV. I've been watching reality TV with her for like probably 5 years now. These shows are fucking awesome. They're the best. So I have a lot of takes. Mormon Wives.
Mormon Wives.
Mormon Wives is good. I don't know if you've seen that on Hulu, but
Oh,
one of the
seen clips of it and it's fucking wild.
it's insane. One of the craziest situations, there's a girl in there named Taylor, and she has a kid with this guy Dakota. This guy Dakota went to WWCC and played basketball for 2 years. So shout out to Walla Walla,
What year?
2012. I looked it up.
Damn.
He didn't get any run, and then he got addicted to painkillers.
Fire. That's
So
fire.
that's a Walla Walla experience.
Shout out the dub,
But
man.
anyway, that's a little teaser of I've got a lot of reality TV takes to get off my chest, so stay tuned.
Fuck yeah. Sick,
All right,
man.
that's it.
That's what
Thanks
we got.
for watching.
Like,
Subscribe,
sub,
both of those things.
comment, X,
Comment even
Insta.
comment even if it's mean.
Just yeah.
We're open to constructive
It's
criticism.
honestly better if it's mean, in my opinion.
If it's mean, make it really mean.
Make it really mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Alright.
y'all.
Bye.
Have a blessed Monday.